All right, welcome to the That's It Fantasy Football League. Week number 11, over. Week number 12, happy Thanksgiving. Starts tomorrow, or AKA today, Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Joey Barista, Ryan Loud, Jake celebrating his girlfriend's birthday.
Happy birthday, Bree. Jake still sucks. You're backing out.
Straight. I spent the last week playing fantasy football in Arizona. It was like something I dreamed about, like being out on the West Coast for football.
Yeah.
Well, not the West Coast, but out in the West, and it sucked. It was mentally exhausting knowing that the game started at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., and that was the afternoon game. It was too close to like 1 p.m., but really 11 felt like a morning game, like London. It just sucked.
That's like all up in lunch, basically.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right. It was really weird. And I didn't enjoy it. I mean, maybe 3-hour difference would have been different, like 12 and 3 or something would be, or whatever it was, like would be a little closer. 10 and 1 or whatever it was, you know what I mean? Like get closer to a 1 o'clock game or something, but 2 p.m. was weird.
I think it would throw me off more if the 1 o'clock game was the second game. If you were West Coast?
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
It was, I don't know.
Well, hey, listen, you tried it out and you don't like it.
I tried it out.
Yeah.
And I was on the plane getting updates about Kyler Murray and Colt McCoy and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Colt, you suck. Not that it would have been close anyway, but what are you going to do? How were we doing on picks last week?
Well, sir, I will tell you. It's funny because last week I was like, "Oh, you and me are 4-2," and then I went, "Oh, surprise! Jake was 1-5." That got us closer. So this week, Jake was again 1-5, and not only was Jake 1-5 again, we were both also 4-2 again. So we all mirrored our week record from last week, and that changes the season totals to now being you and Jake both having 36 correct and 30 incorrect for a 545 record. And I am now in the lead, 39 right, 27 wrong, 591 average.
Boo.
But hey, we're still all over 500. And you and I both improved again.
Well, we're going to see what this week shakes out because I'm sure we're going to disagree on something. That being said, let us get into Week 12 Weekly Pick'ems.
Woo woo! Alrighty. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the match off. I'll read Jake's first. We'll go back to you, Jose, and then I'll finish it up, and we'll keep that rotation. So, first matchup, which I would have went to Jake first if he was here, because it's you against me, buddy. Jake has chosen me. You have chosen, I assume you, but we'll see how it goes. Who do you got?
Oh, who do you have?
I have myself.
Oh. Okay.
I think it's a total coin toss though. So,
I tell you this, I was in the airport in Arizona, and they had this bakery or a restaurant or whatever of some sort, but it was called Humble Pie.
Oh,
which you are gonna have to get served a fucking slice of, because I'm choosing myself.
boy.
B-Rich could have beat you had he started Keenan Allen. Instead, he started Kadarius Goose Egg Toney. Okay? And I'm telling you, I ain't fucking with that mistake. You put that weak ass under 100-point squad against me, I'm gonna fucking take you out. All right,
Listen,
I'm gonna have some type of quarterback this week. I don't give a shit who it is.
Other teams' roster mismanagement is not my fault.
That's fair.
All right. Next matchup is Charles against our missing counterpart, Jake. Jake has gone the route of picking Charles, so he's betting against himself. Nice. Who are you going with for this matchup?
Listen. There's a key word that we use in this podcast all season long, and it's called analytics. I'm picking Charles on analytics.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good move because I am picking Charles as well. He's looking quite strong there, and Jake's missing some cats. He's got a couple injuries.
Yeah.
So, also, he's Jake, and something strange always happens.
Yeah.
Next matchup, keeping it in the Serrano family, Papo's playing Jeff. Jake has chosen Papo for this one. Who do you have, sir?
I also chose Papo. I think Papo and the King Henrys, and the Miami bye week is over. They're going to be well rested. I think they're playing the Texans. It's going to be a fucking slaughter.
Yeah, it's going to be bad news. Yeah, I'm picking Papo too. He's basically unstoppable at this point. And just the player-to-player matchups was heavily in his favor. So we're
I'll tell you this. What's interesting is that when you look at the top of the rankings, right now I know Mike's 6, but if you look at his team, it's a powerhouse team, right?
Yeah.
You're obviously in the top of the rankings, but based on last week and maybe a couple weeks prior, like maybe sliding a little bit, kind of fall back into normal.
Yeah.
And then the other team is Papo's team, right? And like his team with this fucking Miami Dolphins bullshit. You're looking at the top 3 in the league essentially, in any order you want to put them.
Yeah.
Like your team is a top team, obviously record alone, but like it was strong in the beginning. It's kind of balancing out now where Mike was the opposite. Like he was faltering, now he's strong, and then Papo's kind of just been consistently decent all year. So my unofficial power rankings would have you guys as the top 3. But if one of the 3 of you win it, I mean, that's possible first-time, 3-time champion in the league. So it's going to be really interesting. So that being said, did you pick Papo on that one?
I did. Yeah, we all did. That
going into the 3-time champion type of mentality, I actually am choosing Michael for next week against AJ.
All righty. We'll get into that one. Like you said, Mike's playing AJ. That was actually my next matchup, so that's good. Jake went with Mike.
Yeah.
I, however, to play spoiler a little bit, I'm going with AJ because he's been on the up, and AJ has proven me wrong 2 weeks in a row, so I'm not going to bet against him 3 times. And I figure it get us a little bit of variety there, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Next matchup is Ronnie against Adam. Jake has chosen Adam. Who you got for this?
Well, if I chose myself and then I chose Ronnie, that wouldn't make any sense because Ronnie has my spot. So I need that 6th spot. So I need Adam to beat Ronnie to kind of bring him down. If I could beat you, I'm hanging at 7. I might be able to jump that a little bit, get me closer. I only have 3 weeks left, I believe, right? 11. This is week 12, 13, 14. So 3 weeks
games
left to jump 1 spot. So I'm 3 games away from needing to jump 1 fucking spot. So I'm going to need you to fucking back down, and I'm going to need Adam to beat Ronnie. Sorry, Ronnie.
All right.
That's it, fantasy football league. That's it.
I'm closing that one out with Adam too. He's the biggest favorite this week based on odds, so I'm running with that. Ronnie did help me out last week. I chose him for the spoil, and he came through, but I don't think that's happening twice in a row, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads us to our last matchup. Tom against B-Rich. Jake has picked Tom.
You going for spoiler alert on this one too?
Jose has picked. I'm gonna let you go first.
No, I'm picking Tom. I mean, it's crazy. It's not even on paper anyway. I mean, this is all paper picks, right? Like on paper, I just don't see a path to beating them. I really don't. I mean, Keenan Allen's going to play. Maybe he starts him this week. I don't know what B-Rich is thinking, but I don't know. Be interesting.
All right. Funny you say that because I am picking B-Rich. I think it's actually closer on paper than it seems if you look at the same thing you were talking about, seeing how B-Rich might shuffle his team around. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm locking in B-Rich. Come on, B-Rich, let's go. I don't care if you win now.
Oh man.
Alrighty, that's the matchups for week 12.
Yeah. Listen, there was a ton of not a ton, but some schedule changes last week and mass hysteria over weather and all sorts of wildness, and I don't know if that fucked with people, but mentally it messed up some teams because I just think teams either just didn't play right or fell off, and people were just so preoccupied. Maybe people are thinking about Thanksgiving, but there's some highs and lows in here that are pretty astonishing. So,
indeed.
Without hesitation, let's get into this week's highs and lows.
All right, once again, I'm going to read out Jake's. So I'll be doing that for us. He actually gave us a little bit of insight on this one, so this should be interesting and or comical and or ridiculous, but we'll see how that goes. Mr. Bean Mug and Hat, do you want to start us off?
So my quarterback high, not because we have the same namesake, but Joey Burrow, 355 in the air, 4 touchdowns. He had 2 INTs, bringing him down to 34.7 points. But just the start of my trend for the highs, all my highs were over 30 points. So Joey Burrow did that without Jamar Chase. Allegedly, he's coming back this week. We'll see how it plays out. But T. Higgins had a fucking monster game, 23 and change in the point in the stat sheet. It's a super stack for Adam at this point. I mean, I think earlier in the year we even said that T. Higgins might be the better receiver on paper than Jamar Chase, and it's a stack that somebody let him draft instead of cutting him in the draft and letting him stack that. But yeah, Joey Burrow, pretty solid performance for Adam's juggernauts.
Yeah, man. I think when we were comparing Chase and Higgins, they were like within 5 points at that point in the season. So yeah. Jake's high for quarterback, and I quote, Jimmy G, Niners are rolling. Jimmy G, who people didn't even think, would have been on the team at the beginning of the season this year. Good week, 20 for 29. He had 4 touchdowns. Very nice. 33.3 points. Pretty wild. For me, I could have went with the other one in the top 3 with Patty Mahomes, but that's like, that's like saying that water's wet. So I went with one of the next higher up scorers, Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones had 26.6 fantasy points this week, doing everything. 341 yards passing and a touchdown. 7 carries for 50 yards and another touchdown. He's getting it done with his legs, man. It's crazy.
He's a big rusher.
Yeah, it's like a whole new player. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big culture change. The quarterback, the coach knows what the fuck to do. It's a big difference.
Yeah,
So it's so silly.
Yeah.
How teams just get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like Brian Dable isn't a head coach anywhere else. So why'd it work? Joe Judge wasn't a coach anywhere else. Why'd it work?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like you're saying like Joe Judge didn't deserve a different opportunity. Like, I guess maybe a special teams assistant was stupid anyway, but if Bill Belichick says he's the guy and he's right, you take his word for it at face value because it's Bill Belichick. But Brian Dable really went in there and just fucking straightened everything out.
Yeah.
I also think it's the GM. I think that's what people are rallying behind. I think they really like him. But anyway, yeah, he's playing well.
Yeah. Big culture shift in the Giants' favor. All right, man. Which position you want to go to next?
So my receiver high, I have Amari Cooper, 8 for 113, 2 touchdowns, 31.3 points. And the thing, Adam used to bench this guy on Thursdays because he didn't know he was playing. It's amazing that he now understands the use of him and is using him to his advantage. Crazy game. I mean, is Amari Cooper going to play better with Deshaun Watson or vice versa? Is Deshaun Watson back this week? He is, right?
Might be.
I think he is. But is Deshaun Watson going to be rusty and is it going to hurt? I don't know. I want to see it, though. I mean, luckily, I don't have to make that roster change or roster adjustment or roster question. Like, I'd like to see how Adam selects it and chooses it.
It's tough, especially when he has a big week. Yeah, that makes it harder, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it's the problem you want to have, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Who was Jake's wide receiver high?
Jake went with... Give me a sec here. I'm going to pull the stats. I have the name. Jake went with Joshua Palmer from the Chargers.
Oh.
Said he's underrated and he loves him. So I guess that's Jake's romance of the week.
Yeah.
8 for 106 with 2 touchdowns. Not too shabby.
I mean, when you look at Mike's team, I think he put up 135 points. Palmer obviously making up 30 points. It's hard to overcome those things. It's hard to overcome, like, 30-point games. It's tough.
Yeah.
You rarely don't lose with 30-point receivers and shit like that.
No. Speaking of, I'm going to shout out my guy for once because he put up a 30-point game and he definitely won me my game because I would have done absolutely atrocious without this. Devontae Adams coming up big, 7 for 141 and 2 touchdowns.
He was at 30 points.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. Math. That's analytics.
Yeah, there you go. Hey. Wins the win, you know? They all count the same.
Running back high this week. Jake, who'd Jake have?
I'll switch it up. Start with Jake. Jake had one Derrick Henry, who is pretty much up there most of the time, but Jake gave a unique shout out this time and said that he's thrown more touchdowns than Russell Wilson, or he threw more touchdowns than Russell Wilson. So, yeah, Derrick Henry, another solid performance. Helping Papo out as always.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The guy I chose, it's been like, can he do it as the backup? Is he the 1? Is he the 2? Ezekiel Elliott's out. It's got to be Tony Pollard. Well, Zeke's back in, and Tony Pollard's still shit all over them.
Yeah.
36.9 points, 2 touchdowns, 80 on the ground, 109 through the air. Tony Pollard, they have a mess over there in Dallas. I can care less about their problem. But they're going to have to figure it out because Zeke's got to get released, cut, waived. They just got to give it to Tony Pollard, take the pressure off that passing game, and just let him run more.
That's
I think
crazy.
Not this week, but last week was the first time in his career that he even had over 15 attempts in a game.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know how many attempts he had this game, but I mean, 80
exactly 15 actually.
See, it's crazy. He's only had it like two weeks ago. So They got to get him more involved, or switch roles. Make Tony Pollard the 1 and Zeke the 2. He's hurt.
Listen, I would disagree with that. Getting him more involved, they got him plenty involved. He had a top receiver stat line, 6 for 109 and 2 touchdowns, and also had 80 rushing yards. Like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't think there isn't a 1 and 2 there. It's just give everybody the ball when they can. I guess Yeah.
So
but, hey, I'm sure AJ's very happy about that performance.
Oh yeah.
So that's that. To finish up running backs, I'm going to shout out a guy that you usually like to shit on, for lack of a better term. Najee Harris had 20 carries for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he also caught 4 for 26, 27.6 points overall. Big game for him, yeah.
Big game.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, AJ started them both, right?
He did. He flexed Najee.
Yeah, so big move there. Definitely got him some success over Charles, which is very nice. I'm sure he's quite happy about that.
So my quarterback low this week. Listen, Colt McCoy had 7 points. That's an obvious. Okay, did you see the game? It was terrible. It was terrible. I was excited that I was going to be able to watch Monday Night Football on the plane on the way home. I watched the first half and said, I'll fuck this. I ain't watching this. But Josh Allen having 14.5 points after all that hoopla and moving schedules and changing stadiums and blah, 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 blah. Josh Allen, 14.5 points?
Yeah.
That's a low. My expectations are too high. I was expecting Colt McCoy to give me 30. Colt McCoy gave me half of what he was expecting. I mean, maybe you say Josh Allen gave you half of what you were expecting from him, but I don't know. 14.5 points was just very underwhelming.
Especially when they moved from an environment where you thought weather was really going to hamper him.
Yeah, listen, highs and lows sometimes isn't about actual what the highest and what the highest and lowest is, but what's surprising you? What's jumping off of the paper? What's something that you thought was really a mess? And Josh Allen, 14.5 points. That's tough.
Yeah. You basically sold mine for me already. I was going with Colt McCoy. I know he's a backup, but you expect to get a little more out of a guy, especially at a place with a good offense like that, or a place that should have a good offense like that.
Rondell Moore sucks.
Yeah, that too. We're going to get to that. Don't worry.
Robbie Anderson sucks. The tight end sucks. Max Williams I'm talking about, not McBride. I just picked him up this morning.
Real nice to keep it up for your team. Anyway, yeah, I went with Colt McCoy, and Jake just wrote, Russell Wilson stinks with 4 exclamation points. That man's getting away with highway robbery at this point with his pay.
Did you see the stat about Russell
ratio.
Wilson? Did you see the stat where he says he has more bathrooms in his house than touchdowns?
Wow.
He has 12 bathrooms in his house, only has 7 touchdowns.
That's bad.
That's a problem.
And then Melvin Gordon got cut, so,
So what's the point?
247 yards, no touchdowns, no INTs, and he carried the ball once for 8 yards.
Yeah.
Woof.
My low receiver this week was none other than scraps that New York sent out in a trade and actually got draft capital back. Can we talk about that? We actually got 2 picks. I think we got like a 3rd and a 6 or a conditional 6 or something. But we actually got picks back for Kadarius Toney. My man hasn't played in 2 years. There's always something going on. His rap career is bigger than his football career, blah, blah, blah. And, he goosed. He goose-egged. He lost me, which is matchup.
He did.
He took Keenan Allen's roster spot. You could have beat Lau. Instead, Kadarius Toney is responsible for Lau having an extra win this season. I'm fucking convinced. fucking Mother Goose.
As I said before, poor roster management by the other team is not my fault. Now, to defend B-Rich a little bit there, Kadarius Toney had 19 points last week, so I probably would have tried to start him too. But, goose egg's a goose egg. Jake chose Justin Jefferson and said, like the Vikings, like the rest of the Vikings, they're frauds. I don't know what that means. He's just being a hater, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I chose, even though you gave me crap for picking out a guy with an injury last week, I chose another receiver on my team because Rondale Moore caught a ball, lost 6 yards, and then went out of the game with a groin injury. Negative 0.6.
Well, I just want that
which
to
is
be
funny
the
because I
record.
predicted a defense losing points, and then one of my receivers lost points. So karma there.
There's Toney. I didn't pick the lowest receiver on the week. He actually had 0 points. I didn't
That's
pick the
true.
lowest receiver. All right. I want that to be clear.
Yeah,
Dude, I was
not-
seeing on Twitter, I mean, people were up 0.5 and started Rondell Moore and lost. Like, it was people were like losing their shit, like sending screenshots on Twitter and shit. It was wild.
That's rough. Oof. Alrighty, man. Let's close it out. Low running backs.
My low running back this week is somebody who's been featured on this list, not often lately, but has been quite a bit. It's AJ Dillon. I just don't get it. 3.3 points, 13 yards rushing. He's super talented. Yet he's just, it's hard. It's hard to watch that. Like, I just don't understand it. I just think he's so much better of a football player than that. There's other running backs on this list, I believe Jake's, that I don't know. Like, these are just great running backs. Not great, but the good running backs that are just underperforming. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Jake's pick was Kareem Hunt, who has been underperforming, or as Jake put it, completely faded out of that offense and hasn't done shit. Which makes sense because his team's.
But why
Browns,
then why didn't they trade him?
I don't know why. I was surprised. I think he wanted to be traded too, right? Wasn't that the time?
He definitely did. He should have went back to Kansas City, man. That would have been fucking nuts.
Yeah, that would have been good. And for me to close us out here, like you said, this one's actually a rare underperformance because the guy's been performing all season. Saquon Barkley only had a 5.5. Just couldn't get it done. It's all right. I mean, if you're a fantasy owner for him, you're still very happy with him for the year, but this week's a little bit disappointing for him. And I imagine he'll bounce right back. But yeah, only 5.5 for Saquon.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wraps up our highs and lows for week number 11 that had just passed. We'll see who gets added to the list next week, who remains, who's different, and all that good jazz. So that leads us into our last bit, just right under 30 minutes. Let's get into this week's bold predictions.
Jake has graciously supplied us with one as well. I don't know if you want to get to that first, second, last.
What were
you want to shout out what happened last week?
Yeah, let's remind everybody what happened last week. Did anybody hit anything?
Well, like I said, I chose a defense getting negative points and it costing somebody. Didn't hit that. The closest thing was that I had a receiver lose points, but it didn't cost me the game. So there's that.
There was a defense that had negative points, but nobody started them.
Yeah. I don't think that really counts, especially since I added in the caveat of them losing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you remember yours?
I don't.
All right, good. Well, I'm not going to go listen back from last week live, so
I don't remember.
We'll pull the audience on that one. If you remember predictions, let us know. We'll pop into Snapchat or something.
I don't remember. So, do you have a bold prediction yet for this week, Lau?
I do. I'm going to keep it simple. I know it's tough to happen in this league. I smell a tie coming.
Oh, you fucking jerk off. You're a jerk. Who says
it's really
that?
hard It's really hard to do because we have the decimal points, you know?
Oh, God. Terrible. Listen, I'm going to go bold. This guy's helped me out with some bold predictions this year. But I think Bopple is going to beat Jeff. And I think Marcus Mariota is going to have more points than Pat Mahomes.
Woo! Oh.
That's the game.
I like that.
Yeah. That could happen. That's bold.
It could. That is very bold.
So, listen, that wraps up our show today. I know we kept it short. It's done. Oh, what happened?
I got something from Jake.
Oh, I thought you already said it.
No, you want to talk about bold.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about bold.
Yeah.
This guy had the audacity to, in text, where it can be forever preserved, because this is online. Jake's bold prediction is that Cam Akers, notorious fantasy football underperformer, Cam Akers, will have 2 touchdowns now that Darrell Henderson's being cut. And he expects a huge game from him.
He's like an actual beat writer or something out there, because that's something that they would say out in fucking LA. That's crazy.
Bold. Thickest font you can get. Bold.
Yeah. Impact font. Look it up. Those trying to get it all shirts used to be on impact font.
Man, do I have a Sharpie over here? No, I don't have a marker that big. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty wild. Hey, listen, we kept it under 30 minutes, a little 32 minutes, 33 minutes now. Everybody enjoy your holiday, Thanksgiving. It's been great thus far. We're in week 12, 3 weeks left in the regular season. Bottom 6 shaping up, top 6 shaping up.
Still a lot of close stuff in the standings, man.
3 games tomorrow. Should be a fun day.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. Enjoy your time with your families and time off from work. Go football. All right.
Happy holidays.
Shay. So long.
See ya.